But yeah, welcome everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. I hope you guys are doing well today. And on behalf of the UC San Diego Student Alumni Associates, the Triton LinkedIn group, and Triton's Connect, I'd like to welcome you to our event tonight. As a rough overview of what's going to happen, we're going to have a little workshop from Triton LinkedIn group on how to make your Triton LinkedIn page or make your LinkedIn page even better, and how to use that to recruit, to get recruited for internship positions and jobs. And then we'll move on to questions and advice from our alumni about LinkedIn pages. And so if you want your personal page reviewed, you have a chance to do that later in the event. Now to start, let's have the alumni introduce themselves. And Charlene, you can go first.
Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. So hi, I'm Charlene. I went to UCSD in Sixth College. I guess quick bio about me. So I originally I majored as an econ major. Super enjoyed all the theories and everything behind it. And then basically I kind of realized that it was way too much math for me. So I basically switched over to a comm major, added on a business minor. And I really just saw my niche around just being like a really big people person. So like kind of dabbling within like sales and marketing, and then I found myself in recruiting. So I actually started my recruiting experience at Adobe, starting in-house recruiting, and then from there, I moved over to DocuSign, and then I'm currently recruiting at Amazon. So yeah, definitely a lot of tips and tricks to share with you guys in terms of like building your profiles, what recruiters generally tend to look for, just keywords to use and all those things. So yeah, happy to help out.
Fantastic. That's awesome. And Tyler, could you go next? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Tyler Pengraft. I'm a graduate of class of 2012, Sixth College, lit writing major. I also have an MFA in creative writing, and in my past, before coming back to work at UC San Diego as the Assistant Director of Student Engagement and Philanthropy, I also freelance, copy edited, copywrote websites, textbooks, all things for about 5 years. So I have a lot of writing experience and presentational experience, and I'm really excited to share my knowledge with you today.
Wonderful. And we'll just kick it right off. Triton LinkedIn group, if you want to take the reins on this and get started, feel free to.
Thanks, Matthew. Yes, thank you so much for having Triton LinkedIn group. I will share my screen and we can just jump right into the workshop. So hello, everybody. We're Triton LinkedIn group. We are partnered with LinkedIn and the UC San Diego Career Center, and we're here to help you with your LinkedIn profile and how to network and finding internships and all of that. So before we start, just really quickly about who I am. I currently serve as the co-president for Triton LinkedIn Group, and I'm also a third-year international business major from ERC. And I currently serve as the district committee chair for Circle K for the California, Nevada, Hawaii district. And I've had multiple leadership positions in the past, as well as other internship experiences in business development, event planning, marketing, and also coordinating workforce development programs. And I hope to be a project or program manager. And again, thank you so much for having us. I'm super excited, and I hope you guys all learn from this workshop. And also, by the way, this workshop is being recorded. So if you do not want your face on the recording, please turn off your camera or your name, just change your name and all of that. Just wanted to throw that disclaimer out there. And so why LinkedIn? Why networking? I know y'all might be thinking that networking can be very scary. It's very overwhelming, maybe even nerve-wracking. I know it was for me. You're asked to step out of your comfort zone to talk to people, and that's not really easy. And I don't know if you've ever done flyering on Library Walk, but making eye contact with people and then trying to engage with them only for them to put in their earbuds and walk away, it's pretty disheartening, right? And for me, it felt so taboo and awkward to talk to strangers in real life. So why would I want to do it online? Why would I want to do it with industry professionals? And that's what I used to think. And I also was pretty terrified because what could I possibly say to an industry professional? I mean, who am I? Like I don't know anything. But that's the thing, is I don't know anything. And, as college students, we'd like to think we know things, but we really don't. Let's face it. We're supposed to, ask. We as college students, we're in a place in our life where we're not supposed to have our life together, really. asking questions about our classes, asking questions about, relationship advice, or what does life look like after post-grad. We can ask so many different questions, and we can ask questions about, that particular industry you want to go into, or what does the corporate world look like. We have the freedom to ask questions. Isn't that amazing? Like, I'm so happy that we are able to ask questions, and that's what networking is all about. So for example, if you want to be a software engineer, but you don't really know what their day-to-day is, like, who better to ask than the actual person in that job? Or you're nervous about the job search post-grad and you want to be successful, you want to stand out, but you don't really know how to, then have somebody to guide you through it. Preferably somebody who already knows that struggle of post-grad life and help give you any tips and tricks and whatnot, especially people like our alumni, for example. Wow, look at that. And the thing here is that we have to realize that most people are where they are right now because of the people who helped them get there. And so many people do want to help you. They really do. And they're here, they want to give back, and it's all because they've been in your shoes before. But they can't help you if they don't know that you need help and they don't know what they can help you with, which is why you want to get out of your comfort zone and ask those questions, because if you don't ever ask them, you'll never know. And that's why networking is so important, because your energy in building relationships so that you can continuously open opportunities for you to learn, whether that learning opportunity is learning from the other person or widening your perspective about the world, or opportunities like jobs or internships later down the line. And also, you have to remember that networking, it's not transactional. Like, you shouldn't have an ulterior motive other than, hey, I'm going to learn something new today, because there's always something to learn every day from different people. And something to also think about is that people are connected to other people. I mean, the world may seem really, really large right now, but let's face it, it's a pretty small world, especially if you're going into a specific field, and people know people. That's just the way life is. And you want people to know you, and you want to be memorable, which is why before networking or job search, you want to make sure that your profile is up to date. Since this is the first time the person will see your profile, you want to make sure to make your first impression count. So have an eye-catching headline, a professional profile photo. Please, no selfies. I am begging you. I have seen selfies on LinkedIn. Don't do that. And also having a cool background cover photo. Usually cover banner photos are 1084 pixels to 396 pixels to highlight things, whether it's a logo of where you work or pictures of what you've done in the past, maybe even call to actions or websites. And people are usually visual, so make sure that you have the banner section updated. And if you go on LinkedIn, you'll realize that most people don't have their banners updated. And so definitely take advantage of it and help yourself become more memorable. And if you're looking for a job right now, I would actually make sure to have your open to work section filled out. This is a new feature that recruiters usually look at. So make sure to highlight what job titles you're looking for. And if you want to go a step further, you can always use the green open to work frame on your profile photo. Another step you can take is having the feature section filled out. Again, another place you can make your own, whether you're adding any articles you've been featured in. It's a really great way for you to showcase your work. And finally, this is the most important part, I think, and you should always have this part updated, is your about section. And the reason why you want to make your about section interesting is because you want people to read through the rest of your profile and not just stop at this, you know? So for example, this about section is actually from a TLG alum, and in this about section, she doesn't just say what she can do. She also tells you a quick anecdote about her passion and how it's applicable to all of her experiences. Again, this section is completely up to you, whether you want to make it a cover letter style or a creative college essay style. It's all up to you. So make it your own, make it unique, and again, make yourself memorable. Industry professionals look at so many different LinkedIn profiles every day. So you want to be someone to remember. And this is where your personal branding will shine through and let the other person know who you are as a person aside from all of your other professional experiences. Again, if I'm going too fast, please ask any questions in the chat and we'll try to go after them at the end. But yes, I hope that this is making sense so far. I'm just going through all of the different aspects of the LinkedIn profile. And now that you have worked on your initial impression by working on your profile, the next step is, how do we reach out to people? Honestly, this is the scariest part, but I assure you that you will feel more confident after figuring out these things. The first thing to prepare is setting a goal. Why do you want to network with this particular individual at this particular company? What do you hope to learn? Maybe you want to learn more about their role. Maybe you want to learn more about their company culture, maybe about the person's worldview or how they got to where they are. You know, by setting a goal, you're making it easier for the person to help you because they know what you're looking for. Next, you want to study and learn as much as you can about the person from their profile. Again, the other person might actually be looking through your profile, which is why we want to make sure that our own profile is always up to date before networking. Look through their profile and see if you have any similarities. Maybe you went to the same school, or maybe you're part of the same org. Maybe they like basketball. They want to talk about Harry Potter. Look for things beyond the professional life that can help you bond better with the person and make you memorable. They're more likely to feel good like talking to you and remembering that conversation where they got to laugh over those old memories of pulling all-nighters at Geisel or rushing to get to Pepper Canyon, you know, those old memories. So definitely bring those up. You can also find any topics that the person mentioned in their previous posts. For example, I actually had a conversation with somebody who made a post about the abundance mindset. And I've never heard about it before, and I was really curious about it. And their post was pretty brief. So before I had a coffee chat with them, I made sure to note down the question, what do you mean by abundance mindset, as a way for me to expand upon the conversation and also to let them know that I am engaged and I am curious about their perspective on that particular mindset. So now that you're ready to send the connection invite. You should always make sure that when you connect, you send an authentic, personalized connection invite. It's so easy to press the connect button and call it a day, but honestly, that's what everyone does, taking the easy way out, you know, but you want to stand out. And for these, always emphasize that you're a student because people tend to help you out more when you're a student. And if you're sending a message to alumni, especially, remember to put that you're UCSD Triton, you know, show off that UCSD Triton pride, right? And for this particular slide, you can see kind of like a template that I use and if you want to like screenshot or whatnot, I can always send these slides later, but this is kind of like the template that I've used, and I've also seen other people use it for them to get their connection invite accepted. So take note of this. Pay close attention, especially to the part that talks about what you noticed about the other person's profile. Again, you want to make sure that they know you actually took the time to look through their profile and that you've already identified what areas you need help with. So here are some examples of what I've done. And some tips I found from experience doing these coffee chats is that if the person seems busy, indicate in your connection message that you want to have a call with that person, you know, and let them know your availability so that it's easier to schedule a call. Or if the person is, say, you know, speaking at an event, right? You always want to connect with them before and not after the event, since most people will connect with that speaker after the event. So again, setting yourself up for success, connecting with them before the event. And next part, honestly, let's be real. like most of us college students in this Zoom call right now, we're all going to be like nodding along and we're going to be like, yeah, I'm going to send messages and connect with people. But then we're going to procrastinate. I mean, some of us might not procrastinate, and go you, right? But I know that for me, I'll be like, oh, and connecting with people just seems like it's too hard. But I really want to show you, it's like less than 5 minutes to do it. And my motto is just send it. So let's do this. I also don't know if you can still see my screen if I exit. Can you still see the tab? Okay, cool, Leah. Thanks. Awesome. So the first thing I usually do is go to UC San Diego's like actual LinkedIn page. And from there, I can look through all of this, or I can go to the alumni section. And I press it here, and now you see this alumni tool, which is pretty cool, if I do say so myself. I mean, you can find out like the alumni, you know, when they graduated, when they started, where they live, where they work, what they do currently, what their major is right now. There's so much information already just from this page. So let's actually send a connection invite. So in the chat, let's see, which company should we do? Let's do, does anyone want to work at Google or Microsoft? Type in the chat which one I should send a message to. Google or Microsoft? Okay, Google. Okay, let's do Google then. Thank you. Thank you to everyone that has texted in the chat. Let's do it. So now we're gonna go here. It's gonna say where they work. So press this, Google, perfect. And now you can see like there's like the search filter on, and you can still see their majors and what they currently do. And because I'm interested in human resources, I want to be a recruiter one day, I'm gonna go here. And let's see, now if you scroll down, you see all these people that went to UCSD that are currently HR at Google. So I'm going to press Ellen Sun. She is a people operations at Google. She has a SHRM, and she's a global program manager, which sounds really cool. I'm an international business major, so it seems pretty relevant. I'm just gonna quickly skim through this, and you can tell that she's had a lot of HR experience. She has an MBA, and I'm like, oh, she seems amazing, right? So now we're gonna go back to the template we used right here. And let me just try to memorize it real quick. Okay, now we're gonna go here, and once you press that connect button, you're going to add a note. And I'll say something like, hi, Mrs. Sun, I'm a junior studying. Also, you don't really need to add your name because you can see the name when you send the message. Also, I use the N sign a lot because I want to say Zoom. Role as a global program manager. Again, I'm just following the template. And something I also put is something like, oh, like I hope to, I don't know how to make this bigger. And because she's part of the, again, global programs manager, I'm going to talk about the global stage. Somebody's timing this. Got you. Like, doesn't take that long. And this is like my go-to signature, but hi, Mrs. Sun. I'm a junior studying international business at UCSD and interested in program management and HR. I'd love to connect and learn about your role as a global program manager. I hope to impact people globally, but unsure how to get there, and would love to hear your insights. And I put with gratitude, Miu. Again, I'm so sorry if my typing was too loud. I didn't realize it until now, but I will try to mute myself in the future. Cool. And then I just send it. Wow, that barely took what, 2-3 minutes. Again, it's super easy to send a connection message. You just need to be confident and believe that you will send that message out. Again, just send it. Just taking action is the first step. And I will go back into presentation mode. Perfect. Okay. So now that you just, sent your message and whatnot, you got a response back, right? Don't panic. Set up a time to have a coffee chat with them. And now let's prepare ourselves for that particular coffee chat. You already did your research, so now you just want to create questions based on the research. And when you do, again, try to ask questions that can't be answered by looking at their profile. And ask concisely, be curious, and again, remember, we can ask anything. That's our college student superpower. And the final step before going into the coffee chat is being able to answer the question, tell me about yourself. Type F in the chat if you think this question is hard to answer. Go for it, because I don't know about you, but for me, if you don't think it's a hard question, kudos to you, because I used to panic a lot when people would ask me this question. I would be like, yeah, exactly. I hate being asked that. I know. It's like, tell me about yourself. What parts of me do you want me to tell? I mean, am I supposed to answer immediately? Like, can I get some time so I can have a mini existential crisis moment? It's a pretty hard question in my opinion, which is why you want to have your personal branding, be able to have an elevator pitch that goes beyond your professional experiences and covers who you are holistically. Just like you want to know who you are, which is why you should be prepared to, answer this question, share your worldviews, maybe talk about your favorite movies or your favorite hobbies. By preparing, you can be more authentic because you actually took the time to figure out who you are at the moment, and you're not panicking about the right things, saying, what can I say to make myself look good? You're confident in who you are today and you're proud of who you are. And that's all that the other person can really ask for at a coffee chat, is you bringing your authentic self and a willingness to learn. So now that you're in the coffee chat, here's some things to, if you are so don't try to wing the conversation, still prepare, but also remember to go with the flow of the conversation. I've actually heard a couple of alumni that I've talked to in the past who said that the students will ask to connect with them, but when they were in the actual coffee chat, the students will just read off a list of questions and that was it. There was no follow-up questions. And it was a very linear conversation. It was very stagnant, and it didn't seem like the student was interested about the other person or passionate about that particular subject. So remember to ask follow-up questions and show interest beyond your questions list. Even something I do a lot is taking notes when the other person is talking so that you can remember what was said during the call. The next thing is remembering to thank them in the beginning and in the end. Basic courtesy, they took the time to talk to you and they're most likely pretty busy. So just remembering to thank them beginning and end. And finally, it's okay to feel nervous or awkward. I ramble when I'm nervous because I can't stand the silence. Yeah, I can't. So it's okay for you to express that, say hey, I'm really excited to talk to you, but I'm definitely nervous. I haven't done a lot of coffee chats before. And I think people will understand. The fact that you're in the call with them and you're having this conversation with them, you're already doing a great job. You're already taking that first step. So don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Remember that you prepared for this coffee chat. So go back to your notes, find something you want to talk about, and remember that some people just don't click right away, and that's okay. And the most important part about coffee chats that I've noticed is being vocal and having an actual conversation, a two-way conversation, not a one-sided conversation. um, you may feel as a college student, that you're not an industry professional. So you might feel like your experiences are less significant, but they're not. And everyone's story is different. So please share them confidently. Those stories, whether, how you got to college or what your first job was or anything, all of those stories make up who you are. So share them when you are having these coffee chats. Let them get to know you too. And next is, if this is a coffee chat with someone you have a pretty good established relationship with, some ways you can ask for further learning opportunities is talking about it during the call. Professionals I've seen have said not to ask those questions, asking for a job and whatnot through text. You always want to do it when you're in a call with them or you're face to face. Some things I've seen is, if you're looking for an internship, during the call, you can ask, hey, do you know anyone who might be looking for a blank intern? So make sure to have a specified position. So for example, do you know anyone who might be looking for a marketing intern? I'm looking for ways to grow and gain more experience. That's one way you can ask. Or if you're looking for a job or position, you can ask, who can I talk to about getting an interview at your company? This way, the other person might be more inclined to connect you to the hiring manager or the recruiter who helped them get the job, or they can even send in a referral. Again, companies are more likely to hire you from a referral than an online database, which is why this particular workshop is super duper important. So thank you, SAA, for having us here. So what happens after the coffee chat? Wow, pop quiz, everybody. Let's see. Please type in the chat or you can raise your hand. What do you think happens after the coffee chat? How can we stay connected with them? How can we maintain our connection? How can we continue to network with them beyond the coffee chat? Wow, wow, wow. I would answer because top 3, they get a little something from the Career Center. That's all I'm saying. Okay. Elizabeth, like their post and comment. Say thank you afterwards. And Kayla, be sure to interact with their content regularly. Y'all get A+ on this pop quiz. That's not really graded, but it's good for you to know. Just like they said, also, you 3, please PM me after because you will be getting a little giveaway, like a little swag from the Career Center. Shout out to Roxanne Farkas from the Career Center for giving us those giveaways. But anyways, just back to the programming. What happens after the coffee chat? So again, like they said, you can follow up with them and express your gratitude, or you can engage with their content, whether it's liking it or commenting on it. You can also send articles or book recommendations, or even podcast episodes with topics you talked about during the coffee chat. That's something that I do a lot. It's really similar to tagging someone in a meme. It's a way of showing them that, hey, these things remind me of you. And you may not feel like you have a lot to offer as a college student, but you'd be surprised at how much the other person will learn about you and learn from you as well. You can also show your support for their wins. For example, if they get a promotion, if they get a new job, you can always celebrate with them, comment congrats, engage with them. Or something else I do is set up another coffee chat. Like say, hey, I love this coffee chat with you. I enjoy talking to you. Let's talk again, maybe in a month, maybe in a week. And that way you can establish a back and forth relationship that can ultimately maybe lead to a mentor-mentee relationship where the mentor can give back and they can hold you accountable and provide you the guidance you need for your job search process. Again, remember that having good relationships and building a strong network, we all hear everybody saying it, but it really is, it creates opportunities. So remember to invest in building relationships. That's what LinkedIn is here for. And definitely take advantage of it because LinkedIn is a free resource for everyone. So who can I connect with? Usually I connect with people at events like this one. So if you all want to drop your LinkedIn link in the chat, go for it, go nuts, go connect with each other. I usually just type in LinkedIn, hey, like this, maybe I'll type in networking, and on the slide, this particular event came up. So I would look at the event attendees, and as I mentioned earlier, for any event, I'd want to connect with that particular person before the event. That way people can recognize your name. You have an event buddy, and yeah, you just have somebody to talk to. So I definitely utilize events to their fullest, maximize it, that opportunity. And if you are looking for a job, connect with recruiters. While you look at the jobs tab of LinkedIn, you can find job listings and maybe even find the recruiter who posted that particular job listing. So definitely reach out, have a conversation with them, get to know the company more, get to know the role more. And finally, you can also connect with alumni. Again, alumni are amazing. Like you all are so generous. Y'all are so wonderful. For me, my TLG alum and also Circle K alum, they helped me be who I am. And they're the reason why I'm presenting today. You should have seen me, but I'm more confident and comfortable with presenting, and that's all thanks to my alumni. And they can help you and guide you through this crazy, student life that we have right now. So definitely reach out. And another way that we can connect with alumni, it's not just through LinkedIn. It's actually, there's actually a platform called Trends Connect. UCSD has a platform similar to LinkedIn, but it's just UCSD alumni. So it's really easy to find more alumni. And so I will go to the page really quickly, trionsconnect.com. So first thing is I already have a profile built. So, and when you set up your profile, I would connect it with your LinkedIn. It was so easy for me. I literally connected it and all of my experiences came up and I didn't have to type a thing, which was great. Anyways, for the Tritons Connect platform, some things that you can keep in mind is the mentoring section, because again, alumni can be mentors, right? So let's like scroll through and whatnot. There are like 5 different job functions here: engineering, research, education, consulting, healthcare services. Is anybody interested in one particular industry? If you are, type it in the chat. Not, I will choose for you. Okay, urban planning, engineering, research. Cool, lovely. Okay, I saw engineering and it's the top one. So thank you to everyone that commented, but I will go with engineering. But again, you can do this like in your own time as well. If you go to the engineering section, you can actually see all of the alumni who are willing to help. Want to know why I know that they're willing to help? They have a banner and it's super simple. They have a banner that says they're willing to help. And if you look at their profile on the right side, they actually have what they can offer, what they offer, whether it's career advice, a resume review, etc. And you can also reach out to them and message them like you would with LinkedIn. And now that we know about the mentoring section, which you definitely should take advantage of, go out to the jobs board. This again, this website is only for UCSD students. So most likely, maybe not, maybe only UCSD students can see these opportunities. Who knows, right? For example, this one, the Thermo Fisher Scientific Finance Internship Program. Seems like a really cool program. I saw that some of you guys were interested in finance and whatnot. Worth applying to, right? And now you can also implement the same techniques you would use in LinkedIn, but you would use them right here on the Trines Connect website by seeing who posted the job. So for this post, you can see that Kelly Dew added this post. So you can just click on her name and you can message her, maybe ask questions about this particular internship program. And you can also see all the people who worked here that you can ask questions and have coffee chats with. And finally, again, I think I mentioned this earlier, but I love to connect with people at events. Something I do is going onto this event board, say like this event, minimizing stress in our everyday life, something we all need. And you can register directly from here. So it's pretty cool that we can see all of these different events. And if you have any other questions about how to use the Trines Connect website, you can always just go to the resources section and go to the Navigating Through Trines Connect folder. It has all of these pages and all of these like Q&A for like how to use this platform, because again, it is a new platform. So it might be a little bit difficult to look through at first. I like to skim through the feed once a while, you know, like it's pretty cool, transfer alumni talks, or your network is your network podcast. Wow, that sounds pretty interesting. I'll go check that out later. But yeah, definitely check out Trines Connect. And again, if you are struggling to figure out where to start for networking or don't know who to connect with, you can always connect with alumni, connect with your peers. Your peers are going to make it big one day. I have full faith in my peers. So definitely connect with them, just like y'all are doing with sharing your LinkedIn. Yes, shameless plug. Always, always, always promote yourself, because who else is going to promote yourself as much as you do, right? You're your biggest advocate. And also, you can also connect with employees at companies you find interested. And another tip that I do have is join LinkedIn groups. Finding a community on the LinkedIn platform can help you grow professionally as well. Some example groups that I've seen are Consulting or Breaking Barriers, or if you're interested in design, Design Buddies is also a really great LinkedIn group. And this presentation could not have happened without these 4 resources. I turn to them religiously. Consulting is super duper great. They have a lot of quirky new ways of approaching the job search. And then LinkedIn Guide to Networking is from LinkedIn. So a lot of direct resources from there. Madeline Mann and Joel Hansen are both amazing LinkedIn influencers who I just follow all the time. They always have great tips, great content. And specifically for Consulting and Madeline Mann, you know, if you don't want to scroll through all of their content, or if you hate reading, don't worry. They both have TikToks. It's only 60 seconds of video. I know your attention span can definitely watch those videos and still retain all the information that they share. So check them out. And if you have further questions, you can always reach out to me. I've been trying to build my LinkedIn, I guess, like profile since the beginning of this year. Probably around like April-ish is when I joined TLG. I had like maybe like 200 and something connections, and now I'm grateful to say that I have a lot more than that, probably triple more connections, and most of them are very genuine connections. So you can always ask me a question, or you can go out to TLG any grade, you know, even alumni are definitely welcome to come out. It's on Thursdays from 3 to 4 p.m. I don't think we're having one next week because of Thanksgiving, which happy Thanksgiving. But the following week after, we'll start having them. So definitely follow our social media so that we can send out all of that information. And again, thank you so much for having us. Isabella, thank you so much, and Georgiana, and everyone on the team. Again, like TLG is a resource for you all. And if you have any questions, either type them in the chat. You can always like PM me. I'm here. But is there any questions, comments? I will stop sharing screen so that I can see you all's beautiful faces. But I hope that was helpful. And do I answer any questions, or should we do the panel now?
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. I can give a quick overview. So my trick, basically, whenever someone asks me that question, you know, whether it's during like an interview or if it's just meeting someone for the first time for that coffee chat, I usually cater my answer to that person. So for example, if I know that they're, like very high energy, very energetic, or if they're more, professional and they're more like direct in their communication, I'll kind of cater like my communication style to that person, but still, authentically and genuinely being myself. So I usually open up with, introducing myself, with my name. Hi, my name is Charlene. And then since I guess I am working, so I would, introduce my background in terms of my company, my role, but also kind of give some fun facts as well. So whether that's like hobbies or interests, or just kind of asking or kind of like sharing like my day to day. So for example, I recently adopted like 2 dogs. I got a Pomchi and a mini Aussie. They're the new love of my life. So just kind of sharing those fun facts where you can show your personality, but you're also like sharing your professional experience as well. So you're kind of hitting, two at once. And then from there, they can get like a quick overview, and then usually they'll follow up with like follow-up questions, or they can relate to something that I had mentioned, for example. Or you can redirect that to them as well. So you can quickly tell them about yourself and be like, oh, can you tell me about yourself? Or I've heard that you've done, like X, Y, and Z, and then you can get the conversation going from there. But definitely I would recommend keeping it like open-ended as well. So that way you can keep the conversation going.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome. And Tyler, if you have anything to add, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we can move on to the next question.
Yeah, so one of my formative experiences with this had to do with the fact that aside from my day-to-day job, which is working at the university as a fundraiser, I also write for a living. And one of the key pieces of advice that was given to me is that you want to have an elevator pitch. You want to have your 30-second elevator pitch, your 2-minute elevator pitch, and your 5-minute elevator pitch. And so that's something I encourage you all to think about. If you are considering ways to share key pieces of information with somebody about yourself, what's the short version, what's the middle length version, and what's the long version of that? Because that can vary from job to job as far as, if you're doing a very quick screen call versus, were you called up to present about yourself to an entire, hiring panel full of people.
Yeah, excellent. And then we have another question from Zach, and he's asking, this is directed at Charlene and Tyler. What's your favorite thing you learned through your experiences with LinkedIn?
Yeah, favorite thing, but I think that I have necessary things that I've learned, which is that, you have your self-presentation and that you can be as creative and professional as you would like to be with that. And so, I try to show both sides of my personality. I've worked primarily in fundraising as a development officer for the last several years. But like I said, I also write on the side. And so I try to marry those two things in my LinkedIn profile. I think I do that fairly effectively. And then you can also link out to a personal website if you have one too, which gives a little bit more insight to who you are as a person. And so, it's a very flexible tool. And you can have a little bit of fun with it once you kind of establish what those baseline pieces of information are that you should have on there that can tell an employer or a potential coworker or whoever it is that is viewing your LinkedIn, what it is that you do and what your experience has been.
And then I think I can approach this question from like 2 different perspectives. So I guess the first one is just from like a recruiter perspective. I use LinkedIn every single day in my job. So I think I'm a little biased in that I absolutely love LinkedIn. I find most, if not all of my candidates through there. So just, quickly digging into their profiles, see what they've been working on, where their values are, what their career goals are. So it's just a quick way to meet people, but also learn about their backgrounds and see if they're fit for my roles. And then switching it from, I guess like an end user perspective. I also really enjoy LinkedIn just because, again, it allows me to connect with other people, see what they're working on, but also a lot of people, they share a lot of posts, so they can follow, like quick videos or podcasts where I can just learn from that as well. So I see people just sharing a lot of like informational content that I can just like kind of listen to or read, and then I can just gain quick information. But I think it's also a good way if you're, looking for internships or jobs, it's a good way to explore as well. So I know that someone asked about like the premium feature earlier. So that's something I would recommend just to try out, because with the premium feature on LinkedIn, you're able to get, a lot of email messages sent directly to recruiters and hiring teams. They also give you analytics too, in terms of like a specific like job posting, like how many people have applied, what schools they come from, what companies they've worked at. And they also match like your skill set. So it's like, oh, you have, you know, like 9 out of 10 skills, like that this job is like looking for. So yeah, I think just a lot of resources are available on LinkedIn, a lot of analytics, and just a lot of information that you can pull, and then you can just, I guess, apply it to your, like what you're looking to get out of LinkedIn. I also talk a lot and really fast, so I'm sorry.
No, that was great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so now thank you everybody for your questions. Those are great. I'm going to hand this off to Tritons Connect to hear about the work that their organization is doing.
Yeah, so I can talk to Tritons Connect a bit. So basically, Tritons Connect is a platform that the alumni office is sponsoring. And essentially what we are aiming to do there is to create a platform for Tritons that essentially marries the idea of LinkedIn with something that's a little bit more personal on, you know, the level of, you know, how do we interact as alumni with our current students, with, you know, alumni to alumni, staff to students, et cetera. And the idea is that it's really an opportunity for Tritons to post what's going on. So, you know, for example, I know that Student Foundation has an event coming up in a couple of weeks. You'll see the post on there if you're part of the Student Foundation group. And it's also a way to connect with people through your college, through your major, through different interests. So I highly encourage you all to join. It's open to everybody at this point, tritonsconnect.com. Miyu mentioned that you can import your LinkedIn profile into Tritons Connect as well. And so it's very seamless. There is a small delay in approval process because we are hand approving, like, you know, each and every single person that signs up. So sometimes it can take a little bit to get approved, but the idea is that, you know, it's an opportunity for you to connect on in an easier way than having to go through, you know, the 50, 60,000 LinkedIn profiles that, you know, alumni have on LinkedIn, and to see who is willing to help, who is willing to take those informational interviews. And you can also sign up for career coaching as well. Similar to Handshake if you're still a student, but if you're an alumni, you can still sign up for career coaching through Tritons Connect.
Yeah, brilliant. That's definitely a resource everyone should take advantage of as a Triton. It's really helpful. Okay, and so now we'll move on to if anybody is willing to be vulnerable and wants to grow right now here in this call, our alumni will not necessarily critique, but review your LinkedIn profile and, you know, give you some pointers on how to make it even better. If nobody wants to do that, then we will move on to different questions. But if someone wants that, please send your LinkedIn in the chat right now. Okay, I guess not. Oh, there we go. Erica, thank you. So let's see. Can you all see my screen? Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so to the alumni, if you guys want to, you can tell me to scroll or not scroll, and I'm happy to, and then just let me know your thoughts.
I guess I can go first. I'm not sure if I'm the only one giving feedback on this. But yeah, Erica, overall, I would say your profile is really great in terms of it has a lot of details, just in terms of all the positions you've held. You know, you've had a lot of experience throughout like your undergrad career, but also going into details around like what you did in your role, what initiatives you took, etc. And I think my only, I guess, feedback on potentially making it better, although it's already really great, I think I would just suggest that for any like internships or positions that you are applying for, if they are, assuming related to previous positions that you've held, I would just go ahead and include those keywords into your LinkedIn profile. Because from a recruiter standpoint, we're looking at your LinkedIn profiles and we essentially search for those keywords. So whether it's coming from like the job description or a job posting, if you're, in public health, for example, unfortunately, that's not an area I'm too familiar with, but in the job description, they'll have like keywords and phrases where it's very specific to the job and what they're looking for. And then you can find like common themes and just like subject lines around that job description. So I would just include that onto your LinkedIn profile if you haven't done so already. And then from there, the recruiter's like, oh, like she's got this, this, and this. And it's basically just kind of like a long check mark for them. And then they'll go ahead and want to reach out to you because on your profile, it looks like everything just basically fits and you've done a lot of work at a lot of initiatives as well. But yeah, overall, really great. I would just suggest to use those keywords, and that's really just for anyone who's applying for jobs. That's something that recruiters look for, so that's like a quick tip for you.
Thank
That's
you.
great advice.
I had a follow-up question to that. So do recruiters like use some kind of like web scraping tool or some kind of AI thing where it does like scour the like LinkedIn profiles for those keywords? Or is it just kind of like
yeah, so every company will have different like softwares and tools that they use. But yeah, recruiters do have, well, depending on the company, but yeah, recruiters definitely all have access to tools where they can filter basically like keywords and phrases and searches through people's LinkedIn profiles. So for example, if I'm, looking for like a software engineer, I would look for, what is it? Like softwares that they've used, what coding that they know. So I would insert those words and then they'll pull me profiles of people who have all of these things listed on their profiles versus someone who just has like a software engineer intern and that's all it says under their profile. It's like very vague. And so I'm going to reach out to someone who has like more details. So I know like, hey, they know like this, this, and this. And that's what I'm looking for in my role. And then from there, I'm more inclined to give them a call or like reach out to see if they're interested.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. We'll do one more, and also for the folks at Triton LinkedIn group, you guys are welcome to comment on this as well. As this loads, here we go. Wow, this looks really good.
Yeah, so I feel like with Diana's profile, she has a very full and robust profile, which is really great. It's not just her experiences, working, it's also her volunteer experiences as well that I'm seeing that are very fleshed out. And they contain really great details as well. So one of the things that I really appreciate, especially I'm not currently a hiring manager, but I used to be, is that, similar to what you want to do on a resume, you also list what your accomplishments are in that role, which I think is really great. Just as a lit major, I appreciate the repetition in her about section, which almost reads kind of as a manifesto, but in a positive way. I feel like people have negative connotations for the term manifesto, but very full, very robust, and really great details.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, awesome. If there's no more comments, we have one more from Kayla. Okay, go ahead, Kayla.
Yay!
She says roast me, so feel free to dig in here. Again, if you want me to scroll to a certain spot, just let me know.
No.
What a professional photo.
Yes, hit up Joy Partinga takes the most amazing photos. She does great professional photography.
Just from what I've learned today, the only thing that I could say is add a resume in your media section. That would really help recruiters who are looking to get your resume right off the bat.
I was also going to say, Kayla, you know, for example, in the digital marketing lead, your first 2 sentences don't have periods, but your third one, and the fourth one doesn't have one either.
Okay.
I'm also going to add in just quick details also. So it's already very detailed just in terms of like the role descriptions and everything, but I would just add in more around just like direct metrics, for example. For instance, in your digital marketing lead role, it says that you manage and led a dedicated team of design and research volunteers. So I would just list in like, you know, how many people were you managing, were they direct reports, or it shows that you did, I forgot which one it was, but you basically helped kind of like increase like the rates and everything. So I would just go and put that info in there, just so, you know, people who are looking at your profile, they can go ahead and see like the level of impact that you're able to make directly. And then from there, it's just like a, yeah, I guess like a more, like a bigger way to like express or like advocate for yourself as well.
What I also love too is that you have links to your work included in some of these sections as well, which is really great to see. So
You should click on the raccoon one.
Yeah, awesome profile, Kayla. Okay, if there's no other comments or any other LinkedIn profiles, then we will keep going. Hold on one second, everybody. And then Kayla, you have a question as well, it looks like.
Yeah, I was just wondering, so I had a specific question. So yeah, I was just wondering, there are some through my work and they're like really awesome, like verified on Twitter, but I'm just like so nervous about like trying to connect with them on LinkedIn. I'm not the best with words. How is like the best way to go about connecting with someone you kind of know, but they're like really high profile and you don't want to come across, you know, do you know what I'm saying?
I can answer this one real quick. So I am also in the same shoes as you. Most of the time I'm on LinkedIn, I'm literally like, wow, this person did this and this and this. And then I see people my own age who are doing amazing things. And I get this feeling of, oh, I'm not doing enough. And, you know, this person is amazing. What if I mess up my wording and whatnot? And honestly, my biggest like suggestion is just reach out in the way that you'd want to be reached out to. That's what I've heard. And I actually did this with so Consulting is a huge LinkedIn community, and they have helped so many people like throughout the LinkedIn community get jobs and internships at big Fortune 500 companies and whatnot. And one of their community leads, Alvin Meladad, like he is amazing. Every single week he posts these inspirational LinkedIn posts that usually have like a lot of likes. You know, he's pretty on the LinkedIn influencer level, and I've been looking up to him, and he was one of the first people that welcomed me into the LinkedIn space. And so I just reached out to him like I would to a friend, and then he messaged me back, and next thing you know, he's my mentor now currently. So you never know what you might get out of it, so you might as well try. So that's my only thing. And if the alumni have anything else, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Mia's advice was great, right? Reach out to them in the way that you would want to be reached out to. You know, one of the really cool things about my job is that I get to talk to a lot of alumni who are amazing and accomplished people. And you know, I think even at any point in your career, you know, you have that kind of like, oh man, like I haven't achieved nearly as much as this person has. So I just want to let you all know that that never goes away, no matter how old you get, no matter how much experience you glean. Um, but you know, it's an opportunity to just say hi. I really admire you and your work and what you're doing, and if you wouldn't mind connecting with me, that would be great. It doesn't have to be floral or overly written. It can be very simple and straightforward, and I think people tend to appreciate that a little bit more, because they know when they're being flattered a little bit too much.
And then if I could just quickly piggyback off of that, so yeah, that's definitely a feeling and like emotional response that we all definitely experience. So we're all in this together. But at the end of the day, I think something that always helps me stay grounded is just to remember that we're all just people at the end of the day. So you can be a CEO of a top tech firm or president like somewhere else, and we are all accomplishing all these great things. But at the end of the day, we're all just people, and so there's so much that we can learn from each other. There's so many ways that we can connect. So many different things that we can share and just learn from everyone's experiences. And so that's something that helps, I guess, like me personally, like, not being afraid to reach out or say hello, ask for that chat or to ask about like career advice, for example. But yeah, just remember that we're all people at the end of the day, and we all, like naturally like want to help others, and like we have a lot to offer as well.
Yeah, and sorry, something else too that I always say to students when I'm doing any kind of career advising or grad school prep is that when you ask somebody for something, the worst thing that they can say is no, right? And that might not have anything to do with you. It could be that they're a very busy person and their schedule is very full, and so they don't. But the worst thing that you can hear is no, and that doesn't mean that you're going to hear no every single time. So don't let that prevent you from reaching out in the future.
Yeah, that's great advice. Charlene, I have a question for you. When you're looking for new talent on LinkedIn, what are the top 2 things that make a candidate stand out from everybody else?
All right, this is kind of a tricky question, only because it depends on what particular roles I'm working on at that time. But I can give an example, just more like generally. So when I'm looking at their LinkedIn profiles, to me, it's essentially just like a shorter version of their resume. So, I do look for those keywords and phrases, but also, how they're communicating, how they're able to express what they've been working on. Because I think when someone's able to, articulate, explain, like I work on like X, Y, and Z every day, like this is what I've been able to accomplish. I've managed this, I've led this. So just really being able to showcase that and being able to explain it in an articulate way, because that also indicates to me that, you know what you're doing, you're great at what you're doing, and you're excited to, kind of hop onto the next thing. So again, that's just all in like personal branding and just how your profile is. But another thing that helps me too is like I kind of look at overall, I guess like career experience or like trajectory. So just seeing what types of roles they've held, if they've been promoted, are they volunteering, are they in organizations? So more so just saying that more holistic picture aside from what their role is and what like the professional experiences. I think I overlapped that just a bit. Sorry about that. Yeah, just looking at that holistic picture, and then again just looking for those like keywords and phrases where you are able to other people as well.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Also better.
Thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Karen, to quickly answer your question, yeah, I mean, winter break is a good enough time. Really, the sooner the better. So as long as it gets done. Okay, if there are no more questions, I'd like to ask that if you have the time, can you fill out our feedback form so we know how we're doing with these events? Because that will really help us make the next time even better. Isabella just sent it in the chat right there. So afterwards, please fill that out. But thank you everybody for coming tonight. This was incredible, and the presentation, I learned so much. That was awesome. On behalf of the UC San Diego Student Alumni Associates, Triton LinkedIn Group, and Triton's Connect, thank you everybody for coming tonight. It was a wonderful event. Our social media is on the screen. And so if you want more cool events like this one, please follow us on there. We have events every single quarter, maybe even 2 events a quarter, depending on which org you're talking about. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving and best of luck on your internship hunting. Have a great night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, and connect with everybody on LinkedIn. Use those links, guys.